Meanwhile, JSE-listed diversified fishing group Oceana has hiked its interim dividend as profits surged by more than a half. This came as a result of higher canned fish opening inventory levels and strong demand for products such as its Lucky Star brand. Oceana's price improvements for most of its products, in particular fish oil. For more, we are joined by Oceana CEO Neville Brink. Neville, thank you so much for your time. And a tough economy that we find ourselves in, at least in South Africa. Take us through the 6 months that was for the group.
Yes, thank you for having me on the show. Yes, a very good set of results. Very pleased with this. Just shows the diversification of Oceana and you know the different geographies and currencies and species that we operate in, and it certainly has paid dividends.
Right. Given the macroeconomic conditions, and when you look at the different parts of the business, what does it say about the state of the consumer, especially when it comes to how they are going about, when it comes to being, particular about what they're looking for from a product's perspective?
Well, we operate in different geographies and sell to both consumers and the fish meal and oil market, but certainly the South African consumer is under huge pressure. We are very conscious, and I'm very conscious of their affordability. They really are struggling out there, and it's almost a moral obligation that we have as Oceana to keep our Lucky Star product as affordable as possible. It is difficult, and we are facing margin squeeze. A lot of our product is imported and processed through our factories. We have 2,000 people that are producing Lucky Star in our factories, and their jobs are just as important to us as the consumer out there. So our focus is driving volume, keeping prices down, maximizing efficiencies, and making sure that our customers have protein available to them at a reasonable price.
Over the past few weeks, we've had a number of JSE-listed company CEOs talk to us about the impact of load shedding on their operations. Perhaps you could take us through what the impact has been on Oceana's operations.
Yeah, we're less affected by load shedding than most of the other SA companies. Remember, a fishing vessel that's got a factory on board is not connected to Eskom, fortunately, and those vessels can operate independently. Our factories, when we have two big factories on the west coast of South Africa that can Lucky Star, they have the ability to produce electricity and power from coal-fired steam boilers. So we're less reliant on Eskom. We do obviously have generators in case, and we are investing heavily in solar panels, which are going to be installed over the next 6 months. We are investing in a 100 million rand project to put a solar farm just outside the factory. So we are very fortunate that we can continue producing Lucky Star at affordable prices. I feel sorry for my fellow CEOs that are really struggling under the load shedding problems that they're facing.
Speaking of investments, I mean, you mentioned the investments you're going to be embarking on when it comes to solar panels. What does your capital allocation priorities look like for the next 6 months?
Remember, we're an international business, and we have businesses in the US, in Namibia, and in South Africa, and we will be allocating costs, in particular in our hake fleet. We want to recapitalize our hake fleet, and over the next 2 years, we'll be spending a lot of money upgrading those vessels. In both our fish meal businesses, both in the US and in South Africa, we're investing in improved throughput in order to get more vessels and more production through our factories. And then the Lucky Star, we're investing in a new factory on the west coast, which is going to produce not canned fish, but canned food product. It is located along with, and we'll bring in another 70 jobs on the west coast, and it'll be focused on affordable protein, but not in the fish space, in the canned food space. So we are certainly not sitting back. We are investing in this country, and we're investing globally to grow the business. Very exciting times to be in.
Speaking of investing in the country, going into the year, at least when you look back at the 6 months that was, and in what way have the economic conditions, I suppose, surprised you to the downside?
As you mentioned earlier, load shedding is obviously a major, but not on Oceana, but more so on the country itself and the effect on consumers and affordability. You know, food inflation running at 14% and probably going to get higher in the latter part of this year is really affecting our consumers, and in particular the Lucky Star consumers, which are at the bottom end of the spectrum and are really struggling. So that food inflation is of great concern to us. The economy is not growing, and the only way is South African businesses have to take progressive steps to try and assist consumers and this economy, which is what Oceana is doing. We're also very fortunate that we're both an export and an import-based business. A lot of our Lucky Star product is imported, but a lot of our product is exported, including the US-based business. So we are less affected by a weakening currency. We're a naturally hedged company. And very fortunate that both a strong rand and a weak rand affects us in different ways, but certainly allow us to weather a storm that we've seen in this country and expect to see in the next 6 months. So we are quietly positive that our business is in a good place and should grow for the next few months.
Neville, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. That is the CEO of Oceana, Neville Brink.